So this is a project, it's the Waterfire area, Waterplace Park. It'll go from the mall down to the pedestrian bridge, and I'll show you a map later. The council approved this last month, but I want to stress it's really a partnership between not only the CRMC, but the 195 redevelopment district, the city of Providence, who is the permit holder, the Nature Conservancy, the Providence Foundation, and the Waterfire organization. So what we'll talk about tonight is the need for the project, and I have a few more slides that sort of show you the issue. This is at probably about a -1 foot tide, so you can see that there's really limited navigation in there. The project will go down to what it was dredged originally, which is -4 + 1 foot. When we'll start, hopefully we're mobilizing, and it looks like right now we'll be ready to start next Tuesday-ish. How long it will take, we're hoping that we'll be, we're finalizing the most current surveys now, but we're hoping that we'll be finished right before Christmas, assuming that things go according to plan. I've got some photos of the equipment. It's being delivered now. It's on a truck somewhere. And then we'll talk about the sound, which was one of the abutters' concerns, and then the contractor who is on site and doing it. So this is really right out the right down the hill from here, Waterplace Park. You can see that it's quite a need for dredging. The Waterfire baskets and anchors are being removed. The baskets are removed, and the anchors are proving to be more challenged than the Waterfire people anticipated. We're having a little chat tomorrow morning about that. Here's some more pictures. So here's the limits of the project, and it goes basically from the mall down. This is the new pedestrian bridge. This is Crawford Street, and it's going to end right at the southern end of the bridge piers for Crawford Street. That's where all the material is. It's a sandy material and suitable for beneficial reuse. South of there, the material, while there's some sand, there's an awful lot of material that's not suitable for beneficial reuse, and really not suitable for this type of equipment with this operation. We have, this is the new park, and this will be the new Dyer Street. It's not paved right now, but this is our laydown area. We have an office trailer here. Where we will be constructing a temporary pier. That's where the survey boats and the push boats, fuel pods and everything will come in and out of down there. The material is going to be pumped from the dredge site, 10,000-ish feet, to the quay in East Providence, where it's going to be dewatered and stacked. It's going to just be stacked up for either beneficial reuse there or trucking to another site, which is already approved by you guys and others, 70 Houghton Street for the Providence Redevelopment Authority. That's a separate permitting process, but we'll stack it here for the time being, and then depending on the outcome of that process, we'll truck it off. It will go through the hurricane barrier, and then once it goes through the hurricane barrier, it will be anchored to the bottom. And the agreement we have is that it'll basically it's a 40-foot deep channel, and we will tell the pilots where the pipe is, and also we'll survey it to show that it's below 40 feet. It's a very soft bottom. It'll sink into the mud, and then after the first ship comes into the Wilkes-Barre Pier, we will resurvey it just to show the pilots that it did in fact stay where it was, and if not, we'll obviously have to correct that. So this is the dredge, very similar to the ones that you saw in down in Quaney last year and then the years previous. It's a cutter head suction dredge. This one's been modified. Has a beefed up pump. It will have a pump right behind it in line to allow it to pump the long distance. The ladder was changed out, so the ladder is the sort of the nozzle that sticks out the front with the egg beater on the end, and it was extended so that it could fit under the bridges. There's a lot of low bridges that we can't obviously get this onto, so the idea is to stick the cutter head in as far as we can to get the majority of the material. So, and there's the pipe that will be attached to the dredge. Most of it is fused right now. It's at the key. You can see these lengths. They're 800 feet long, and this morning there were 11 of them. And they will be flanged and bolted together, and then as the dredge moves south, it will start them all and work its way south. As it moves south, they'll remove sections of the pipe. Nope. So this is will be at the dredge. This is a very small booster pump. There'll also be another big booster pump at the Crawford Street Bridge. That booster pump is about, I don't know, 10 times their size. It's huge, and that will just basically allow push the slurry to the key. If we get a settlement, what happens is these pipes clog, and that's a real challenge. We have to lift up the pipe, we have to cut out the section, and then refuse the pipe all out in the water. So one of the questions was, how loud is this? And while we don't have sound measurements for this specific dredge, we have the same dredge, and they do have decibel measurements, and it's about 70 right at the dredge, and then it drops off pretty quickly. The sound, this dredge has been shrouded, so to mitigate as much sound as they can. But to put it in perspective, what that 60 to 70 decibels are, and this is from the industrial noise, and so conversation in a restaurant and background music is about 60. So it's you'll hear it, but it's not I'm certain people will be bothered by it, because whenever we have a dredging project, we do get calls from somebody who has trouble sleeping. It's just different noise, but generally it'll be moving south. It won't be there for that much, for that long of a time.
Is there an ordinance, a noise ordinance in Providence that you had to talk to the city about?
The city is our partner.
Yes.
Yes, so we are compliant, yes.
Okay.
What's the schedule for dredging? Is it around the clock?
It is. It's 24/7, and the reason for a couple of reasons. Start and stop is 10,000 feet of pipe, so you've got a slurry in there. So you either if you have to stop, it's not like you can just turn it off. You've got to flush it out. Also, too, you don't want to let anything freeze. Also, too, this company's from Wisconsin, and they are anxious to get home, and they like the 12-hour shifts. So this is sort of what it'll look like. This is not our job. This is another job that they did similar, and you can see that they are used to working in close proximity. And it will be like this, sort of floating from the mall down to the hurricane barrier. And like I said, after that, you won't see the pipe. The CRMC, we have all worked with J.F. Brennan. Third project, similar with hydraulic dredge, and they've come in on budget, and they've actually done well time-wise. As part of the bid, we had from pretty stringent urban dredging requirements, and these guys met it. So
just once, when was the last time it was dredged?
when it was built.
Okay, so many years, that's a long time.
Yeah, so it's been, basically, it took about 10 years over time, so between 20 and 30 years are the last time it's been.
Last time it was mechanically dredged too. There wasn't, as it was being built, it was being dredged, so they didn't have any buildings or anything else to contend with. And they could do it mechanically, so this is the first time it's being hydraulically dredged.
And one of the other questions that has come up in the public questions is, well, what are you going to do to prevent it? And while I tell everyone that it will be required to be dredged in the future, I mean, any place that is an unnatural channel, you're gonna have to dredge it. The City of Providence and Rhode Island DOT are both under consent agreements to maintain their catch basins. A lot of this material is basically road sand. It's surprising, it's very sandy, but it's not surprising because the catch basins in the area haven't really been maintained. And so once the sumps get filled, all of the material just fills it up. But I mean, you have a giant urban catchment, you know, that feeds down the river, so you're gonna get sediment, you've got natural sediment in the river, so it's gonna require dredging in the future.
That area by the mall, too, just on this side of the mall, per se, acts as like a centrifuge. And it sorts the material very nicely right there. So it causes it to drop there and then down the river.
How long have you been working on this to get it to this point, almost starting in a week,
Year.
a year?
Yeah, well, just after we got voluntold that we were gonna do it sometime in December, December, January. So,
Is that a new word?
what's that?
Is that a new word? I gotta write that one down. How do you spell that?
And there's other outreach projects going on so that people know?
Actually, as we speak, the Nature Conservancy in the City of Providence are meeting with the Downtown Neighborhood Association for their second meeting with them, just to sort of discuss it and answer questions. We had a public meeting, wasn't well attended. I thought we had advertised it pretty well, you know, with the Muscatatuck River people and the City of Providence and the Nature Conservancy. Yeah, we've had public meetings, public outreach, public comment periods. Very modest in the questions, and we did spend a lot of effort to reach out specifically to the commercial entities, the tugboats, the Providence tour boat people, just so the harbor pilots, so they all are aware of it.
You can get those anchors out in a week? Or water fire
I
again?
think they're going to be motivated.
Yeah, yeah. What's the issue?
I don't think they have the right equipment.
Thank you.
Well,